Hello, guys. So just watch the next clip. It's this is Uber CEO.
But what about the public health issue here? What about the customers who are scared to get in the car and scared of getting the virus? The drivers who are scared of driving passengers, would you put your kids in an Uber right now?
Well, I think these are deeply personal decisions, and it depends on the circumstance. So I think you can't have a global answer for that. I live in San Francisco, and today I wouldn't put my kids in an Uber because the governor has specifically asked for us to lock down. And if you look at actually the Uber app right now, so we think rides and eats are safe. And we think that they're especially safe because we've got the best balance sheet in the business.
All right. So like you saw there, that was Dara Karo. Oh gosh, I can't even pronounce his last name. I'm just gonna call it Dara. So Dara, it's Uber CEO, and he was asked by a reporter, "What about health issues? Would you put your own children into an Uber?" And Dara responded casually, "No, I will not put my own children into an Uber." And I have to say this: I appreciate Dara's sincerity. I appreciate that Uber CEO openly admits that it's too dangerous for his own children to use Uber services, but it's not dangerous for the drivers. It's not dangerous for the passengers because the passengers and the drivers are the one bringing monies into Uber's account. So think about this, guys. If you're driving for Uber, Bolt, Viavan, Addison Lee, think about this. Think about this small issue. You're probably saying to yourself right now, you have to work during the outbreak because and during the lockdown, because if you're not working, who's gonna pay your bills for the next month? If you're worrying about who's gonna pay your bills for the next month and decide to work, ask yourself who's gonna pay your bills, your family bills for the next 10 or 20 years if you're working during the lockdown. Because you know what, it's not a matter of if you might get coronavirus, it's a matter of when you're gonna get coronavirus. So you know what, it's not worth it, guys. Like I said, ask yourself. Don't ask yourself who's gonna pay your bills for the next month. Ask yourself who's gonna pay your bills for the next 10 years if you're gonna die. Because I'm not exaggerating right now. You will die if you have a condition or if you're an older person by coronavirus. This week, sadly, there was a driver from Addison Lee that passed away. By the way, Addison Lee refused to lower the rent for their own drivers. And also there was a Uber driver in New York City that passed away from coronavirus. Both of these drivers, they contracted the virus while they were working. And both of these drivers drove customers while they were having coronavirus, and more likely they spread the virus even more. So you know what, Uber has the more responsibility to their own customers and their own drivers to shut down their services while we are in a lockdown. Not just Uber, I'm talking about Viavan, I'm talking about Ola, I'm talking about Bolt, which, by the way, I have to give credit to Viavan as well, because Viavan shut down their services in London. You know what, and everyone should do this. But you know what's the most disturbing thing? Uber, Bolt, Addison Lee, all of these big companies in London, they refuse to offer any support to drivers. They told the drivers they will offer support only if they contracted coronavirus. So basically said, you know what, driver X or Y or Z, continue driving for us, continue bring us the money, and if you get coronavirus, you will get some payment, which is £100 a week. Oh, that's great. That's fantastic amount of money. So yeah, these companies, they refuse to offer any kind of support to drivers because they waited for the government to kick in and to help the drivers. Which, by the way, if you're a private hire driver and you've been a private hire driver for more than 3 years and you've been doing this full time, you should stop working right now, because the government offers you 80% of your monthly income But they're gonna offer this help in June. So until June, you might ask yourself what you're gonna do. Don't worry about your rent. Under coronavirus legislation, the landlord cannot kick you out of your house. But also, I have another good news for you from the bank. You have to check with your bank. Santander does it, and Halifax does it for sure. I know this for sure. And what they do this holiday payment. Holiday payment means that you can skip a month or two, or in my case, I'm with Halifax Bank. I can skip up to 3 months per year, not pay anything towards my loan, and these months that I'm not paying, they're going to be added at the end of my contract. In my case, for I think I got £13,000 loan, I'm paying about £380 a month. Halifax are going to charge me £36 extra for each holiday month, and you know what, I think that's worth it. I think that's worth it to take a holiday payment, and during this time I'm not going to work. I'm just going to stay at home, and keep London safe, basically. So you have to check with your bank, guys. Check with your landlord, and tell your landlord that under coronavirus legislation, you can stay up to 6 months without paying rent. Okay, you know what? I'm not saying don't pay rent. You can pay the rent later, or have an agreement with your landlord where you could increase your rent with, I don't know, 100 or 150 pounds extra per week for the next week, so they will cover this month. Per month, not per week, because you're paying the rent monthly. And also talk to your bank, because the bank might offer you these holiday payments. So you can easily resolve this issue with your bank and with your landlord. And in June, the government offered you 80% of your monthly income. So when you get the payment from the government, take that money, give it to your landlord, or put it in your bank account towards your loan, and the problem is solved. You don't have to worry about finances right now. And like I said at the beginning of this video, ask yourself, who's gonna pay your rent while you're dead? Don't ask yourself who's gonna pay your rent for the next month. Ask yourself who's gonna pay your rent while you're dead. Guys, like I said in my previous video, it's not worth it to risk your rent for 90 pence per mile.